I am chairman of the Committee on Communications and ICT at the NCIC. I want to say that we really enjoyed this breakfast meeting, which we've been pressing ever since that we should have it. And on this, I want to tell you just a short story which happened to me, which I've seen to have worked so well, and which we tried to put in the NCIC at the commissioner's level. In 1989, around September, the president appointed me to become chairman of the Presidential Commission on the Voice of Kenya. And when we went there, we found that this was a very huge propaganda machine which the government used, and that all information was in the government. And I want to tell you that the government has a lot of information. They know everything. And you must know how to harness the governmental operation to do your work. So we decided that Voice of Kenya must be collapsed. And we form a new body, which later on we called the KBC. And then we also decided that all the airwaves be free and the media be allowed to move around as much as possible to grow the thinking of Kenyans, how they want to go about their lives, how they want their governance operation to take place. The president agreed, this was fully adopted, and then it took quite a while. 1993, government appointed me to head what is now the KBC. And the first thing we did was that we must call all journalists, all the editors, and let's have a breakfast meeting, and we shall talk everything, and we tell them why we have come that far, and what we need to do to enlighten the country about where we are going. I like the phrase or what the vice president has said this morning. We do not have a spare country. There's only one, and it will always be one. So we must make sure it works. That breakfast meeting, we did not have the money, but some of us were trying to collect the money ourselves from our pockets to try and fund it, because the Voice of Kenya had no money, and the government also did not have enough money to give us. People, you could see cockroaches running around wherever we were meeting. We said, what do we do? So we sacrificed to have a breakfast meeting. And we decided to hold it at the best place in the country at that time. And that was the Norfolk Hotel. And they said, how do you find this? They said, look, like this, just eat whatever and talk. We talk. And a lot of things happen. I think I learned the story there. What has been said today, we have the commission secretariat here and very well qualified staff, and particularly within the Committee of the Communications on the ICT, we have noted every point you've raised. And we are going to look into this thoroughly. And I can add that even we have already signed an MOU with the Communications Authority of Kenya, where I used to be chairman. And I'm glad Vice President mentioned it. If you have to track hate speech is even done in a private house, and then it's taken out, and they find somebody who will go and yield it somewhere else, and then you cannot track where it came from. But Communications Authority of Kenya today has special equipments which will track silent talks, and they can be recorded somewhere. And then one thing we will have to do is not to reveal the source of information. We can answer to that which you said. And in that way, we will go into prosecution. But we know that what has been failing us is the length of cases to be prosecuted and be determined and action be taken. But everybody who is to be investigated and called by us, they resort to a clause within our act which says conciliate. So the judges say, please conciliate this one. And then the politician, I've been a politician, I know this, I'm a member of parliament. They just carry on because they know that, it takes 4 years. By that time, the parliament is out of the way, people are in another election, and we carry on and carry on. But we now have techniques to look at this right now. This conciliation is also positive for us because you cannot punish forever. You can also forgive sometimes. If somebody is willing to talk well and be able to promote, like one of the guys we called, he said that, look, I don't want to be done what I'm going to offer 50, was it 50 days or 50 months?
Hours.
50 hours of work to conciliate and say, I'm sorry, I did this thing, none of my colleagues should do it again. That is a very powerful dimension of trying to do what we are doing. So, we really thank you so much. This has been a good meeting, and we have talked very openly, all of us, and we are going to ensure that we do the meeting with you regularly. And we perhaps what you should do, we are going to do ours, decide within the guild who are going to help draft the MOU details between us and you. Because really, if we are careless about this country, because what we talk is very nice, it makes a lot of newspapers sell and what, at the end of the day, you have sold, but you will not find where to spend that money, because your country is messed up by this kind of wars. So we're going to do that quickly, and I thank all of you who will take action on all these things, and please let us keep together. You asked for a lot of meetings, we are going to make sure there's a lot of meetings. And thank you, thank you, thank you.